It says we are live. Are we, though? I hope we are. Come on, StreamYards. Hello, viewer. Today it's Sunday, March the 10th, 2024. Guess what, folks? It's Oscars Day. Nobody gives a shite. I am Mr. Brune, and I trust you are all doing very well today. On this evening's live stream, we are discussing the goings on last week in the entertainment and on the social media. It was a week where some things happened in Hollywood, especially today, and more bad things happened in real life. Oh dear, I tried to avoid all that stuff. So, as I always say, folks, if you've not shut down for the evening, lots to get through, shall we get those guests out? You know it, let's do it. Of course we should. Okay, so first up, watch out, War and Peace. He is the Star Wars novelist. It's the jester from Leicester. It is Emperor Kipling.
Hello, Mr. Brown. Hello to the chat.
Kipling, yes.
I hope everyone is doing very well this evening.
Yes.
Mr. Brown, yes.
Yes.
Allow me to regale you with the tale of a most unexpected visit from Darth Kipling, a master of both the dark side and the culinary arts. One fateful day, he arrived at my throne room bearing a selection of delectable cakes, including his renowned Death Star puddings, but insisted we only eat them flying my shuttle along the station's famous trench. In the midst of our banter, my elbow nudged the joystick, sending the plate of pudding soaring through the air, scattering powdered sugar and succulent brandy filling all over the controls. Chuckling, we salvaged what we could, and with each bite of the scrumptious lumps, we found ourselves in stitches, and even amid the chaos, our terrifying laughter echoed through the galaxy. Indeed, Lord Kipling does make exceedingly good trench runs.
It's great to have you on, Emperor Kipling.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
It is, yes. Shall we get the next peep out?
Yes, I'm looking forward to taking on a new apprentice. Let's see what you have to offer, Brown.
Okay, next, the backbone of the channel. It is Professor R2. Hello there.
Well, hello there. Yes.
How are you?
I don't know how to follow that. Well
I think
done.
we should just finish there.
Well done, Emperor.
How can we top that?
With a great avatar. That's how.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Professor R2 has gone Super Saiyan.
Indeed. Power level 9.000. Yeah.
I would say, Professor R2, is it possible for you to keep an eye on the Oscars if there's anything that's of big winners?
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Check a live blog here.
It's great to have you on, my friend. Shall we get the next peep out?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Next is the #1 YouTube super mod, and we are blessed to have him as our main mod. Here we go. Melvin Deeply.
Good evening, my children. How are we doing?
I am well. I'm not going to ask you. It's great to have you on, mate. Shall we get the next guest out?
As long as it's somebody good.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. It's great to have you on, mate. Here we go. Next, I can't speak again. Next, he's got the wettest pocket on YouTube. Last minute. Here we go, folks. It is Smilex.
Oh, I'd like to thank the Academy. I'd like to thank Atom for my big break on the casting
look
couch.
At this, folks.
And my mum and dad and everybody that knows me.
Look at that.
Yeah,
isn't that amazing?
Right. You can touch that.
And I will say, yes, I can't speak. I can't even speak. You can't even spell. None of us can We're shit. It's great to have you on, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
You were last minute. Thank you. Shall we get the next peep out?
Yes, he should really come with the fanfare. Let's do it.
Okay. This is my script. It says, and last but my... Sorry, I can't speak. And last but by no means least, he is the This is going really well. He is the wise elder of the channel. You know the rest. He is the great dark Sith Lord Chord, little platoon mega geek.
It's shit.
It's shit. Hello, mega geek.
Hello.
Is
I
it
should
shit?
same energy.
Yeah, same
Is it
energy.
shit?
It's all shit. Yeah, I don't care. It's shit. I don't watch this stuff. Why am I even here? What day is it?
God knows. Are you well, Lord?
I am okay, thank you. Yes, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Here you go. Look, Arch Colin, expectations subverted. Yes. How's the channel going, my friend?
Okay, I think. Yeah, not bad.
Oh, have you been losing subs? I've been losing quite a few.
Have you? No, I haven't.
Yeah, not that I've got many to lose, but yeah.
Now, are you losing them, or is it telling you that you're gaining fewer than usual? Because it puts a little downward arrow.
I'm losing them.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have that problem. I'm sorry for you.
Black Lives or Black Knives says, was it somebody else? They've been unsubbed again.
Oh. Wait, am I still subbed? Let me have a look. And unsub if I'm still subbed. Nope, still subbed.
Thank you, Lord. It's great to have you on, my friend. Shall we just get on with it then, I think?
Well, I have my first Oscar update.
Oh, here we go.
Quickly.
Hot off the press,
it
everybody.
seems that a bunch of very wealthy, out-of-touch people wearing ridiculous clothing have arrived at the Oscars.
Oh, no.
What?
Yeah.
Has Zendaya found her second name yet? Is she picking that up later?
Yeah, question. Why has Zendaya only got one name? Why is she so special? Anybody know?
If I remember, her last name is really boring. It's like Cooper.
Coleman. It's
Coleman. That was it.
Anybody any idea? Chat, anybody?
I'm going to say that if you're in the showbiz game and you have a kind of unique name, use that. People remember it, like Beyonce and that kind of thing. Topol, remember him?
Topol, yeah.
Yeah. Prince, Madonna, absolutely. Why not?
Did you see Madonna making a right fool of herself at a concert the other day?
I did see that.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, let's get some graphics on then. Here we go.
Great.
Episode 192, Musings, Sunday, March 10, 2024. They're great.
Ricicles.
Please like, share, subscribe.
How is it that on the day of the Oscars, Tony the Tiger is leading this stream? How has that come to pass?
Because people like Tony the Tiger.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think you should put knockers on your thumbnail every time.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody likes knockers. Everybody.
Yeah, I know somebody who does, and their views are well high. By the way, okay, so Tony the Tiger, folks, they're great. Okay, we'll blast through the. Oh, here we go. Some hot news, everybody. Z3PO. I like blowjobs. There you go.
There's the monetization.
Oh my goodness.
I don't get any anyway, so here we go. So Halo, anybody? Is it just me?
You.
Lord,
which episode are we on to? I've seen episode
6.
Oh god, no, I think I'm up to 4. And I don't remember what happened, so no, functionally no.
Okay. I'm gonna stick my neck out here. I'm kind of enjoying it considering the limitations of the writing staff. But anyway. Anybody else watching?
No, I've not seen this at all. I had no interest in the games. I've got little interest in watching this. I would have done had it been good generic sci-fi actiony thing, but everything told me that this was probably going to be awful from what I was hearing on this channel and others.
I'm even going to say, go on, Sophus.
If this was released like 10, 15 years ago, I would have been all over it. But that would have preceded the woke plague. So
there is a big element of that, yes.
Yeah, anything released now, I just avoid until I hear a review, and I've just not heard any good reviews about this whatsoever from the first season, and I've got no reason to believe the second season is any different. I'm not going to watch it. I know it'll just piss me off because I truly love the original games, and also I love the books, all the lore behind it and everything, and they've just gone and destroyed it with these, so they can go to hell for as I'm concerned.
There you go. On that bombshell, we'll move on. Again, am I the only one who's watching this?
Probably.
Yeah. I watched the first episode. I haven't come back to it.
Okay. I know Lance is streaming.
Yeah.
Drinker.
And he seemed disappointed with it too, doesn't he? I've just seen his Twitter responses.
Yeah.
I gave it one episode. It was very chocolate box. It looked very nice, but it also had a slightly cheap feel to it. And I don't know. There was something about it that kind of put me off.
250 million cheap.
Dollars. You don't get as much for your money these days in Hollywood, though.
Yeah.
Evidently. How many Godzillas is that?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
20 Godzillas.
Yeah. Hello, Manuel. Episode 8 was a letdown. There's one more episode to go. I think we got to about episode 5 or 6, and it was doing okay, and then the DEI stuff started coming in. Apparently the person who wrote the last episode, which this episode that's just aired, was the writer of Peppa Pig.
Wow. Well, you can see why they would get the job.
Well, I watched right up to episode 6, and I gave up at episode 6 because the writers of episode 6 were the writers of Captain Marvel.
Oh.
That's when it started going down.
No, sorry, not the writers, the directors. The directors of Captain Marvel. And I thought, that'll do me. That'll do. I see what's coming here. I'll see you later.
There was a really
report on this DEI. What are they doing?
Well, we've got the lectures about POCs, women
Commodore.
Yeah, women winning the war, all that stuff.
Oh my god.
Well, this latest episode was written by you said the writer of Peppa Pig?
Yeah,
that's what Lance said. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, were they playing in muddy puddles? Or
technically, yes. In the prisoner of war camp, yes. Technically, yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna give that a pass because I think some quality writers have also written children's books as well. So I'm gonna say that it's a possibility that you can go from that genre to another. But it's the other stuff, isn't it?
We had Shooty Gatwa in it as well, looking very moody. It was amazing.
Really?
Yeah, amazing.
Doesn't strike me as the kind of person that could pull that off, but okay.
Can't wait for the action figure. But from changing the subject very, very slightly, apparently it's very difficult for a writer to write a children's story, like if it's a mainstream writer. I remember reading an interview with Roald Dahl, and he said one of the big publishers hired a lot of famous writers to write a children's book, so full of short stories, and they all got rejected because they were shit, because it wasn't among their talents.
Yeah,
they could write spy stories, but they couldn't write children's stories.
Roald Dahl was very good at not actually curtailing himself very much. I mean, he would pretty much write it for anyone. I think really, you could read those now and they'd be okay. Charlie's Chocolate Factory and all the others, they're actually pretty decent at any age, I think.
Yeah,
and I think that's probably part of the appeal, is that as a child you read them and you think, oh, I shouldn't be reading this because it seems a little bit seems a bit grown up. But I don't know. Maybe a lot of writers fall into the trap of dumbing down when they start writing children's books.
I think that's the impression. Martin Amis used to say that only a serious brain injury could compel him to write for children. But that's kind of I think that misses the point of children's literature. You're supposed to write up for children, I think, not write down to them.
Absolutely
right.
yeah.
It's like the Warner Brothers cartoons, the old Bugs and Daffy and things like
Yeah.
that.
Mm.
They were made for adults, but they were
Yeah.
with children in mind. It's like, so you can't put things in. You can't put sex in them, but they're really made for adults. The humor is adult humor, but children get it. I still love them cartoons. Loved them when I was 4. Still love them.
I mean, you say you can't put sex in them, but Bugs Bunny in a dress is still kind of giving me confused thoughts.
Okay, so we've got one more
Just you.
episode. It's the finale next week. I'm not holding any hope. They referenced just one scene. They referenced D-Day with a 5-second cutscene, and it was like, one of the greatest days in history. Just 5-second cutscene, just utter shit, everybody. Okay.
I can see that being the point. Like, if you're focusing on a theatre of war
Yes.
that isn't D-Day, then it probably helps to not do that. It might. I mean, again, I've not seen it. I can't comment on how they delivered it, but having that as very much an afterthought would be quite realistic to the perspective of people involved in other theatres of war.
Possibly, but we saw the that cutscene in the opening titles every week. So
Fair enough.
anyway, okay, let's move on. Okay, who's watching this?
Me.
I've watched the first 2 episodes. I haven't watched number 3 yet, but
Yep.
I'll be watching that this week.
Who's up to speed? Melvin?
I am up to speed. I can run really fast.
And
The first 2 episodes, well, I think I said this last week or the week before. The first 2 episodes were amazing. The first 2 episodes were the best TV I have seen in years. Really compelling.
really?
Drags you right into it. Different from the book. They changed it from the book, but they never changed it in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got to episode 3, and it's just had my palm on my face for half the episode. It's just, what are they doing?
no.
What are they doing? Yeah.
For what reasons? Spoilers, folks.
Spoilers. They have a bit where there's a fight scene, and the kind of main female character in the show, Mariko, is it? Mariko? She joins in the fight, and she picks up this weapon. It's like a staff with a blade on the end, like a kind of short sword on the end, and starts fighting these Ronin, which is like a samurai, and she's beating them. And she's this little woman, and she's beating these samurai in a fight. And I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. This is really, really stupid.
When you say Ronan, do you mean Ahsoka? Do you see what I did there? See what I did there?
They didn't have lightsabers.
I do pay
but
attention occasionally.
They had that look. They had that squint that Ahsoka had.
Okay, so
Is
I
it
will
Ronan
say
Keaton?
this. Yeah, I will say this, Melvin. That weapon, the pole arm, it's actually called a naginata.
Yes, it is.
That is the traditional weapon trained that women would train in Japan.
Yes,
And so they
I
would
mean,
be quite proficient with it.
I am aware that women were trained to fight, but this woman is like a translator and a mother
gonna say
and
something else there.
a servant,
That's why she's
a
so
servant
good.
of the boss.
Sure.
It's like she might be trained to fight, but she's certainly not going to be a proficient fighter, and she's not going to beat a man in a fair fight, 1-on-1, standing in front of each other. It's not going to happen. Just no chance, 0 chance. But she beat 2 or 3. It was ridiculous.
So are you going to stick with it?
I'm going to stick with it, and after my discovery about the director of episode 6, Masters of the Air, I had a look to see who the director was.
Oh, here we
And
go.
it's
Careful.
This lady called Charlotte Brandstrom.
Is she one of the Rings of Power set?
Yes.
Oh.
Rings of Power and The Witcher.
Oh, and The Witcher. Oh, shit.
Double
Yeah.
bill of greatness.
Now that's the only episode she directs, but there's another couple of questionable ones
Okay.
in the mix before they get to the end.
I mean, one
And the
might be
guy
an
who
accident,
directed-
but if you got 2, The Witcher and Rings of Power, that's careless.
This is the DEI episode, then, yes?
Yeah, they have one whose name
Christ.
escapes me, right? And it's a Mexican lesbian of Japanese descent.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
And she's one of the directors. She looks a bit like Alexis Sale. She dresses a bit like Alexis Sale,
Ticking all the boxes for me so far, that's for sure.
and so she does one episode. But the guy who done the first two, which were excellent episodes, he's not back again.
Oh.
Is he coming back though?
No, that's it. He's done. He's had 2 episodes and he's gone. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope it recovers. But episode 3, Lance reviewed this on Wednesday, I think, last Wednesday,
Yeah.
and everybody on Lance's panel said it was great. But I think they were still on a high from the first 2 episodes.
First 2, because it
Right.
hadn't dropped, had it? So what you're saying is touch and go at the moment.
I didn't hate episode 3, but it was so far below the first 2 that it's really worrying about what's to come.
Oh God, it's just amazing how quickly something that's so good can just go off the rails.
Well, yeah,
It's
I mean,
such
we
a
know
great
now.
book as well. I mean, it's such a great book. I've read. I mean, it's been about 15 years since I've read it, but it's a massive brick of a book. But it is a story that really would translate well with all the modern effects and the budgets that they've got today. But I don't know. I'm just hoping they can pull it back. Then, by the sounds of it, I'm going to watch episode 3 this
Yeah.
week. But
Yeah, I've got the episodes. I've not watched them yet. Yeah, so
I might have to have a few drinks before I go
okay.
go
I
for
think,
it.
I think Melvin's going to be our eyes and ears on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on then, folks. Shogun has become FX's most viewed premiere on Hulu with 9 million views, passing The Bear. So it's popular.
Yeah, The Bear was a bit of a sneaky hit, really, wasn't it? That was word of mouth that carried that one into popularity, I think. I don't think you can understand why that wouldn't have had a great opening. I mean, it didn't look as though there was anything specifically unique about that show when it launched. Whereas Shogun, there is at least a tiny bit of IP knowledge about it. And it looked very lavish, and they did actually promote it with a few trailers beforehand. So it makes sense that would have had a
Bear was
bigger
good.
opening. The Bear was good, yeah, but there was no reason that it would have a strong start.
Here you go, Dr. Iceman. Only season 1 of The Bear is good. Season 2 was disappointing. Okay, so Shogun popular, Bear not bad as well. Okay, let's move on then. Okay,
Sideways.
sidestep. Shogun will likely not get a season 2. We know how the book ends. It was one of the reasons why we both knew we wanted to do it, and we ended in exactly that place. So one season,
good
and that's
thing,
it,
isn't it?
folks.
That's a good
Good.
thing, though.
Yeah.
They always, whenever they have success, they always do 12 spin-offs, and
Yeah.
I think it's good that if you can just tell one story well,
Yeah.
It's whether or not they stick to those guns once Disney says, "Hey, this thing's actually really popular, and it's making money, and
Yeah.
we don't have any of that. So can you make another season, please?"
and feature the female characters more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you just tell the same story again, but with a woman?
Bride of Shogun.
Why don't they make it with Ahsoka,
Yes, absolutely.
Why
Yeah.
not?
Ronins, and all that shit? Get Dave Filoni in.
Mhm.
Brilliant. Oh, Matt
Lizzo
Marshall.
could be a Shogun, maybe.
Let's
Need
move on.
maybe a bigger horse for that.
We will need a bigger horse.
Shogun, as Black Lives has said there.
Dune Part 2, or was it June Part 2, earns 46 million in the film's second domestic weekend, a 44% drop.
That's quite good, isn't it? 44%.
That
I think
is
so,
quite
yeah.
reasonable,
That's
yes.
not bad.
From a high start as well.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, views on Dune, was it June Part 2? We've not heard your views. Did you see
No.
it?
Yes, yeah, I've seen it a couple of times.
India or?
Both. I always do both.
Okay.
Yeah, thoughts haven't really changed from the first watch, which is it always sounds
Spoilers.
negative when talking about it. I always sound negative when talking about it. I had a really good time with it. I think it's an enjoyable film. It's incredibly impressive, but it's also quite empty, and most of the characters are hollowed out. And I think that's one of the things that makes all those comparisons with like the Two Towers and Empire Strikes Back just infuriating, because it's not like it's possible to be a really good film and be nowhere near those, which I would say Dune 2 probably is. It's Dune Light is essentially what Dune Part 2 is, and well, the entire Villeneuve Dune duology is Dune Light. Some of it is necessary because it's such a packed book and abridgments are essential in any film adaptation. But some of it then is a failure on the part of what you're choosing to abridge and what you're choosing to cut. It's a failed editorial decision to deprive Paul Atreides of really any kind of warmth and heart and motive. It misses most of the important thematic beats, and I think is a lesser film because of it. For all that, it's enjoyable, and I recommend anybody who hasn't seen it goes to see it.
I agree. Very empty.
Mm-hmm.
I think that mirrors most of the things that we kind of said about it at the time, bro.
Yeah. Bagface and actually Andrew have been really, really, I'll say, vacillating over this movie, haven't they?
Yeah.
And I tried to explain on
There's something not said in that, wasn't there?
Yes, I explained in the chat on Movie Cynics Blue Room. We used to get films like this all the time back in the day, and we would have considered this a very, very good film, but nothing particularly special. And I'm kind of thinking nowadays it's the the starving man, give him a rice cracker and he'll think it's a feast type of.
It definitely benefits by comparison with everything else around it, which is fair, and it's natural to make those judgments. Recency bias is a legitimate thing. I think one of Andrew's, the thing I keep seeing Andrew kind of spurg about is Fade Routher, which is really kind of, I think, the revealing bit, because though I can see why he's very well performed and strikingly designed, but he kind of symbolizes all the problems I have with the film, which is that he's an empty character. He's just a psychopath in this. There's no actual relationship. The entire Harkonnen faction really is done a bit dirty by Part 2. That they are much more nuanced and much more interesting when you actually get the context. And it's only a single scene. In fact, they have that scene kind of in Dune Part 2. The scene when because he's a psycho in this film, just decides randomly to kill all of his female courtesans is in the film. In the book, he is told he has to do that because he tries to jump above his station and betray the Baron. And the Baron really likes him. And the Baron is actually a self-sacrificial character. He doesn't really care which Harkonnen is on the throne of the Imperium, just that a Harkonnen is. He's a family loyalist. He's very much the model for Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones. Same mindset, quite actually self-deprecating. And so the Baron in the books forces Fade to kill his female courtesans as a punishment and to put him back in line, but then in so doing reveals much more about his motive and his relationship with Fade. And all of that's gone from the film, even though part of the scene is still there, which I think is fairly emblematic of the problems the film has with depth.
I will say, the film, there are a couple of moments where I thought, okay, but in terms of the film looks amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the quality, the CGI. I have a problem now that CGI. As soon as I see CGI, it takes me out. This one didn't, and there were a couple of little slight moments where it was a bit touch and go, but the movie did look fantastic. I would have liked this movie to be perhaps another 30 minutes long. Smilex, did I say that to you in the theatre?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, we both got a little fidgety in the last half an hour, I think.
Yeah.
How long is it?
2:45.
Well, then they probably should have made it 2 films rather than 30 minutes longer. For me,
I think that's another thing that we brought up as well. It would have been better as a mini-series almost, like or an eight-parter or something like that, you know. But
I mean, hell, if Peter Jackson can split The Hobbit into 3 films, I think the first Dune probably qualifies.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, I think conservatively, I would say an extra 30 minutes, but I bet there's a 4-hour cut of this, and you would want to watch it.
But there's quite a natural way to break it up. I think the first film ends roughly where the first film should end, in the walking off into the desert. You can map it against the steps of the hero's journey, and it ends at a fairly narratively convenient place. You could quite easily see part 2 if you actually wanted as well to draw on the Empire Strikes Back-y like kind of feel of the thing, because in the book Paul has a son, and the son is killed in the attack on the Siege. And that's part of the strong motive that gives him to actually surrender to the compulsion of the jihad that the Fremen are launching. If you ended the second film with his son being killed and his sister being kidnapped, which also happens in the book and not in the film, then you've got this very much darker but also much stronger character film, much like Empire Strikes Back is, which will then free you up in the third film to do much more by way of fighting, by way of the battle, the big culminating event. Which launches you then into Dune Messiah. There's quite an easy way you can see to break it up narratively into 3. And I wonder whether it's just because it's been so difficult to adapt in the past that they were hesitant to do that.
Yeah, I agree so much. Yeah, there's so much in there of Paul's character that's just left unsaid. It's just taken out of the film. So much of his motivations that aren't there.
I think I said this last week. Obviously, the budget was 190. That's 190 million. I would have liked them to spend an extra, say, 20 million. It just felt like it was lacking in places. We needed an extra 20 million spent.
I just feel it was. I feel it was just a story not told well. It seemed to me that there were just scenes that seemed incredibly choppy and edited badly, and we were focusing on things that we didn't need to focus on, and it didn't seem as if the director knew what he wanted from each scene. I mean, I've made the example before about the quest he goes on at the start, and then we just cut to the romance, and we don't see any of the actual quest of him going off into the desert and coming back and being greeted by
there you go, look.
By the caves people, the Fremen. But I don't know. It seemed a little disjointed or broken up in the edit.
Okay, I will maybe say I think 20 was 100.
I
100.
I agree with Wayfarer. I don't think the budget would have made any difference, as we've seen with Godzilla. I think I would really like to sit down with somebody who knows, like, see when you get forensic accountants to go through the books properly and see what was spent on what. I would like to know how they can justify 190 million on a film. I'd like to know where it went.
Yeah, here you go, folks. Rust in peace. What if it's not Disney? HBO should have given Villeneuve 25 million episode. Yeah, that'd have been better. And just say, look, just take your time, tell it correctly. Yes, no.
Yeah, but like, whenever I know, I'm with Melvin on that, and that even that $25 million for an episode of television is astonishing. Now, granted, if you actually compelled a studio to account for its books publicly, that would be the end of Hollywood. So we'll never see it happen. But it would be great to see, yeah, you're right, exactly where this money goes. If something like Godzilla -1 can come out and it can cost what it does, obviously there are the easy ways of like pointing out the big differences, that there are not big stars in that film. The use of CGI is comparatively limited, though that does tell you that you can tell a really good story without much by way of effects budgets. The overall staffing costs are going to be lower. There'll be those big headline figures which are lower for various industrial reasons, but like there is no reason that a film or even a two-parter like Dune should cost quite what it does. If you can tell what is essentially a very strong story with a tiny fraction of that budget, then you should try and do that. But then again, the thing that everyone really does love about these two-part adaptations is how brilliant they look, and they are undeniably immersive in the way they use effects. So the money's I don't know if if you can ever say that $180 million is well spent, but it looks like it's been well spent.
Yeah. I certainly don't think there's any of these actors that were deserving 10 or 12 million for being in the film.
I would have liked it to have been R-rated.
Yeah, but there's not a huge amount. I mean, I'm trying to think of anything in the book that would really require that. It's not ever so graphic. There's a few like dirty little references that get thrown in, like the fact that Baron Harkonnen is almost certainly Mr. Peter File, which is not in the film. Like you could mention that shit, but
yeah. Okay, right. Okay, so Platoon. What marks out of 10 would you have given the movie? Tricky one, isn't
It
it?
is a really tricky one because I did really enjoy it, but
Same here.
it's the sort of the same thing with Avatar, except that I actually like the way Dune Part 2 looks, whereas I hate the way Avatar looks. But
I'm
the
the
fact that it
opposite.
looks impressive is kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe 6, and that might actually be generous, but I'll give it a 6.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd say
Wow.
the same. About a 6. I mean, it just didn't leave me feeling anything at the end. That's the main problem I had with it. It looks beautiful, and I will, as I said, I will watch this again. Give it a few months when the hype has died down, and watch it again when it's on a streaming service somewhere. But I'm not in any rush, and I think 6 is pretty fair.
That's almost as bad for me as watching a film that I come away hating. When you don't feel anything whatsoever.
I know,
because you feel like
exactly,
you sat
yeah.
there wasted like 2 or 3 hours, you know?
Yeah.
That's such a common thing these days. Characters not having any character. You watch a film and you don't care if they live or die, and it's almost everything. Almost everything is like that. You just don't give a shit.
That's how I was at the end of that Ghostbusters movie. I just came away thinking like, that was a Ghostbusters movie. I didn't care about any of the
new
characters.
Ghostbusters on the way. Here
Masters of the Air as well is like that. You just you don't care about them. They're not giving you enough to get to like them or know them or anything.
Shogun Alter for $5. Thank you, my friend. Wasn't there some spice orgy scene in the book or the second book of Dune? Was it Dune?
It gets progressively weirder because Frank Herbert gets progressively higher as he writes them.
Oh,
I don't remember an orgy in the first one. I could be wrong though.
Yeah. Neither does Frank Herbert by the sounds of it.
You know what, folks? I was going to give this movie 8. Even though in places I was bored, I can see the craft behind the movie. Am I being too generous now?
Well, maybe. I mean, giving the craft of the film an 8 is fair if you're restricting the score to the craft of the film, because as a technical accomplishment, it's brilliant. I mean, the way it's shot, the way it's filmed, the effects, shot composition, it looks incredible. It's just that I don't think films are car showrooms. I think you need a bit more than technology and good aesthetics.
Great. Okay. I think this is a sidestep, folks. Dune 2, was it June 2? I should say Part 2, has passed 350. That's 350 a million worldwide. That's 1 week, everybody.
Is that a giant sloth in the second picture?
That's what I was thinking.
It looks like it. Is it going to crack the bill?
I don't think so. I think 44% on this drop off. I think word of mouth is it was strong for those first couple of weeks, but I do get the impression that the hype is going to slightly die off a little bit, and I could be projecting my own feelings for this film onto that, but I think this will do okay for the next couple of weeks and then sort of just fizzle out.
What do we think? 750?
Yeah, I'd say about 750.
Yeah, 750 all day. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
367 is where we're sitting right now. So
it's going to be this week, isn't it? The important week for this movie.
Yeah, because it's had no competition for this week, and probably not for next week either. It's more likely going to be something like Ghostbusters, which drives a lot of competition for a big blockbuster with effects in it. So
that's 2 weeks away. So
it's got a couple of weeks, I think.
Liam Neeson and his brothers, top right. Very good. Very good.
It looks like the sloth from Ice Age, doesn't it?
It does.
Matt Nizak, hello, my friend. It would crack 1 billion in the summer, but in March, 800.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything over 800 is a bonus. Yeah.
I'm not sure what happens because it's in the IMAX theaters, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not going to have a long run in the IMAX. It's only going to run for a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly in IMAX. It's not exclusively in IMAX though. So it'll probably drop off those main screens when Ghostbusters comes out.
Yeah, I think next week is the last week. It's got all those IMAX theaters tied up.
The second picture is just 3 popcorn buckets, which we didn't get in the UK, which I was very disappointed about.
Yeah, true.
Okay, let's move on then.
I would have bought you one, Brown, but I'm not in the habit of sending sex toys internationally. So.
The postage would have been okay. So quickly, just do this. Dune. See, they've done this right. Dune Part 2. Was it Dune Part 2? Already passed the entire domestic run of Dune. Was it?
Isn't it remarkable what not having a global pandemic will do for you?
Oh yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
Also, I do think the first one picked up a little bit of a, not so much a cult status, but it did pick up a bit of positive word.
I really enjoyed the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed both of them. It's just, it's sort of slightly hollow enjoyment, I suppose.
Yeah, perhaps I was desperate to watch this so much that, when the expectation just doesn't. But anyway, okay. Let's move on.
It didn't help that I was doing Kipper's impressions beside him.
No, it didn't. Okay, quickly do this. Denis Villeneuve showed Dune 2 to a dying man a month before release by flying his laptop out to his palliative care centre. The gentleman passed away a couple of days after seeing the film.
Good Lord, he murdered him with Dune. You get these stories now and again. I'm not entirely sure how they circulate into the, well, I mean, I think we know how they get out into the world, but yeah, I've seen these kind of stories before. I think there was the same sort of thing with some of the Star Wars movies.
That was a plot of a movie.
Good lad.
I hate stories like this. It's like, you spoiled my mood. Is this supposed to be like a happy story or something?
Yeah.
Some poor guy died, and the very last thing he got to do was watch a stupid film. He couldn't have sent him a stripper or something.
I need hookers.
Exactly. Send the guy a hooker. Send him a strippogram. Just send him some photographs of boobs or something.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney. Okay, let's move on then now. But yeah, good lad.
Send him a nurse dressed as a nurse.
Okay. I have edited the Rotten Tomato graphic to what it was today, but Roadhouse debuts with 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and then I did the it's at 72 at the moment.
Funny, but a friend of mine brought this up today without any prompting at all and said, I like Jake Gyllenhaal, but I never see him as somebody who can play tough. He's never a hard man for me.
And then the next story is Hollywood Handle must be getting paid. Roadhouse rise above every expectation. The movie's only flaw is getting a streaming release. It's action-packed, breathtaking, thrilling movie with outstanding performances from Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor. And full review is dropping tomorrow, folks.
Can you believe that Conor McGregor is giving an outstanding performance? Can we agree that that's a thing that's going to happen? I can't see it somehow, but okay.
There you go. Jake was good in Guy Ritchie's Covenant, which I still haven't seen yet.
Conor McGregor, they teach him English, especially for this part.
No. I did go and check out some of these reviews. I was like, what? This movie was rated fresh. Are you kidding me? So yeah, I went to go look at a bunch of the reviews. Of course, there's a bunch of them that are rated fresh. And of course, you know how that works on Rotten Tomatoes, right? Mm-hmm. Like basically a 50% is a fresh. So a total failure is still fresh. So yeah, there's a 2.5 out of 5 rated as fresh. A 6 out of 10 rated fresh. So yeah, it's ridiculous.
Bedelia. Brokeback Roadhouse. I can't quit you.
I wish I could punch you.
I can't quit you.
The original.
Sorry, go on.
Go on, Swappers.
I was just going to say there was a photo taken from, I think it was Rocky 3 with Clubber Lang and Rocky in the photo. And it was like during one of their matches and they're facing up to each other and someone edited a hand in to the picture. I don't know if everyone's seen that. It's kind of all over the internet. They've edited a hand, like I think he's touching either the cheek of Rocky or his chest or something like that. And it says, the only thing you need to change the mood of a photo is a single hand. And it just looks like they're about to properly snog each other. And all we need is a picture of Conor McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal doing exactly the same thing. And that should be the movie poster. There's your Brokeback right there.
There you go, folks.
The original Roadhouse was silly fun, right? Have we all seen it?
Yeah,
good B movie.
Just
Guilty
ridiculous.
pleasure movie. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Good
Yeah.
action movie, silly, unbelievable. Patrick Swayze with his mad 80s hair, like
and the corny one-liners,
like Mel
Yeah,
Gibson in
it's-
Lethal Weapon, that mad Michael
Yeah.
Douglas hair. And it had a good
Oh,
cast.
Like a feathery mullet.
Yeah. Just needed some
It had a good
highlights for
cast.
the full.
The bad guy was Ben Gazzara, and he was great. And
Yes,
Sam
dependable.
Elliott, and there was a few other names in it. And it was just good fun. It was just good, clean fun with some good violence in it, and
With boobies.
put it
And
over
random-
the top and far-fetched and silly. And this one here is going to take itself too seriously. And it's
I
gonna
think
be
that's
shit.
true. All the images seem to strike a very dour tone, don't they? Like this is going to be like NYPD Blue or something. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. I can't imagine it's going to be great, but it could be acceptable.
I think possibly okay as its own thing, but not as Roadhouse. Because
Mullets
Roadhouse
with
was
roundhouses.
its own thing.
Very good. Okay. Should we move on then?
Do it.
Okay. Where's the Mega Geek when we need him? Sam Raimi reportedly said there's a chance of Spider-Man 4 happening simply because he has the desire as we do. If it happens, it will be at the right time. Sorry about that.
I mean, he wanted to make more after 3, didn't he? I mean, he had a bad experience on 3, but he would have continued making them if they'd wanted him back. I think they got rid of him, if I'm not mistaken.
Mega Geek said last week. The rumor is he's heard rumors from his friends in the industry that it's very, very likely to happen.
It's a bit of a confusing one, isn't it? Are they going to call it Spider-Man 4? I mean, after you've had 3, 4, 5 Spider-Man movies in a row with different people in them, and it's just, I don't know. I can keep up with it, and probably most of the people in this chat can keep up with it.
What is it? Is it 8 or 9 Spider-Man films? If you don't count Miles Morales.
Oh, are we counting Nicholas Hammond?
Well, since Tobey Maguire, I think we've had 8.
Yeah.
Really?
I really like Spider-Man. Grew up on the Spider-Man cartoon, singing the song. It would be on TV, and I'd run outside swinging the songs, swinging the clothesline, and always like Spider-Man. Hulk's probably my 2 favorite superheroes, even more than Batman. And I'll probably watch this if they make it, and I'll probably enjoy it. But I don't really want it. I don't see the point. I think it needs a break.
Actually, the Mega Geek.
Wow.
Hello. Do we have any confidence in Sony now? It'll be shit.
He did the catchphrase. Yay!
Yay. Okay. Is this a sidestep? I can't remember. Yes. Okay. Every Spider-Man film will be re-released in theaters this year to celebrate 100 years of Columbia Pictures, and probably trying to finance Spider-Man 4 as well. So I think this is USA. Spider-Man April 15, Spider-Man 2 April 22, Spider-Man 3 April 29, and then there's the rest of the list there. So is this a financing deal, do we think?
Yeah. They've got Kraven the Hunter coming out as well, haven't they, this year?
What?
I think. Is that's been finished ages ago, isn't it? And just sitting around.
I think that's November.
So yeah, so I mean, gets a little bit of buzz, doesn't it? Keeps him in the public eye.
Celebrates.
It's a good bit of marketing. It's slightly cynical marketing, isn't it?
Yeah. Which one would we go see then if it was only one out of those? Swappers?
Well, it's got to be Spider-Man 2, isn't it? It's probably one of the greatest superhero movies or comic book movies of all time. Raimi's direction is just a bonus that, he's just incredible. When he's at his best, he makes absolute seminal pieces of work, and it's still to this day even after all of the MCU movies, no matter how good or bad, it still reigns supreme over every single other comic book movie I've ever seen. That's just my personal opinion, but it edges out the original Superman movies as well, and they were great. So if going back to the previous slide, is if Raimi is doing number 4, they've got a good chance of making it a success, especially knowing where they put a foot wrong with Spider-Man 3 and how popular the last Spider-Man movie was with the multiverse thingy going on. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind going to see Spider-Man 2. It's been a while since I've seen it. It's been bloody years, decades since I've seen it. So I'd love to go
20
and
years,
see that in the cinema. Yeah.
I
don't want to give Alex Klutzman any of my money though for the Amazing Spider-Man movie.
No.
Melvin, which one would you go see if it was only one again?
If it was only one.
Yeah, that you can go see in the theatre. Which one?
Probably Andrew Garfield's first one.
Really? For what reason? I've not seen any of those.
I never liked Tobey Maguire. And at first I didn't like Andrew Garfield either, but he grew on me as an actor after Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd go back and watch his first effort again.
Okay, R2, same question.
Oh, definitely be Spider-Man 2. That's just such an iconic film. It's so incredibly well made. The performances in it are great. I love Alfred Molina in there in his role as Doc Ock. Just a great film. I watch that one at home on occasion. It's really one of my favorite superhero films. So I would definitely go see that.
Spalix?
Yeah, I'd probably go see Spider-Man 2 as well for the same reasons as everybody else has said. I like Sam Raimi's direction. I like the choice of the bad guy. I like that golden era of villains that Sam Raimi kind of likes as well. I do agree with Melvin that Andrew Garfield is probably my favorite actor to play him. More so than Tobey Maguire. I know. Sorry, chat. But yeah, if I was seeing just one, it would be Spider-Man 2.
Lord, which one?
They're pretty much exactly the same. I always found Tobey Maguire kind of irritating, but Spider-Man 2 is the best of the films, so I would go and see that.
Okay. Should we move on then? Yes. Here you go. The Holdovers has been accused of plagiarism by writer Simon Stevenson, Paddington 2. Stevenson had a script named, is it Frisco, which followed a world-weary children's doctor and the 15-year-old patient he gets stuck looking after. Alexander Payne had read the scripts. What do we think to that?
I think that The Holdovers is an okay movie. I think it's incredibly safe for Alexander Payne, though. I don't think anybody's pushing themselves particularly. I know it's getting some Oscar buzz, but I mean, it worked with it worked on Sideways and done a perfect film with that cast. And yeah, here we are with this one. It just seemed very. I didn't see any surprises in this movie at all. It seems fairly straightforward, a kind of a film I'd seen before. So I'm sure he probably has a case in that, he may have seen it and it may be very, very specific. But I do also get the impression that this sort of follows the plot of quite a few other films as well.
Anyone else seen this? I know the Mega Geek liked it. Anybody else seen it?
Not gotten to see it yet.
Okay.
Does sound interesting.
Okay, let's move on then. Where's Cynic when we need him? The Halloween TV series will be creative resets completely. A creative reset completely, and will be going back to the original film.
How many creative resets have we had with Halloween?
4, 5.
Wow. Just like the main character, this just refuses to die.
How meta.
I would be totally up for this if it is true to the original, but I don't think it's going to be. Do you?
It's just at this point, it's just IP awareness, isn't it? That's all it is. It's just the name.
I don't know why anybody would care if it's true to the original. They should do something new with it, like leave it alone. That would be new.
I'd love to see like a serial or even a TV series of sort of mini movies of different takes on Halloween, not just Mike Myers, but Mike Myers. Oh no, no, just like a series of haunting Halloween tales. Like
Well, they tried to do that with was it Halloween 3 is the really weird one with the masks. Yeah, that's why they didn't do it afterwards. I think
that was the original plan, wasn't it? I mean, that was why they called it the generic name of Halloween. They were going to do a different film every year with a completely different story, like a Twilight Zone thing, and just use the name Halloween.
Yeah, I love that idea. I love that idea.
There is a movie like that.
Were expecting Mike Myers to come back. And they were all disappointed because they thought they were going to get more of him. So that's why they did the third film with him back in it again. They kind of forgot their plan. But I'd love to see like a return to that idea. I think
me too.
There's mileage in that.
Have any of you seen Trick or Treat? Trick or Treat.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen that.
With Brian Cox in it, and that's what that is. It's like a Halloween story, and it's like a little medley, isn't it?
Yeah.
And quite good. When's it from? I'll see.
Cartoon Man 154. William Shatner once haunted by that mask. Yes, because it's him, isn't it?
It is.
It is. I'd love to know what Cynic's opinion is, because he's like me. I love Halloween. I'm not really into horror, but Halloween, I just want to see Michael Myers doing Michael Myers stuff.
I like Halloween 3 though. I like the one with the little pumpkin masks and that weird jingly advert.
I love that film. I love that film. Yeah,
it's great.
With the guy from Lethal Weapon, Tom.
Yeah.
Can't remember. The one who
I
got
dropped the link for that in the
eggnog.
chat. I dropped the link.
It's a really unsettling movie. I really liked it. I really enjoyed that.
Okay, Melvin's dropped a link. Trick or treat, everybody. Yeah, it will be Michelle.
Of course it would. Michaela Myers.
It'll be Rosario Dawson as well.
Yeah. Rosario Dawson, and she'll be hunting down the evil doctor who imprisoned her and framed her for some murders.
Okay.
Will Jenna Ortega be in it somewhere as well?
Well, then I'd watch.
Possibly. There'll be a Ronan thrown in somewhere for good measure.
Zendaya in there. Get them all in there.
Okay. New post of the Fall Guy. Who's looking forward to this one, folks?
It seems so flat. It just seems so flat, doesn't it? It almost felt like it needed a laugh track in the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer was so dull and boring.
God.
Yeah, it was so generic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it would have been better with a laughter track.
Yeah, it needs something because there was no energy in that trailer at all. I didn't get any of it. And he's just a stuntman. He's not the bounty hunter that was in the TV show. So why even call it that? As I said to you at the time, I think it should have been better called Hooper. At least it'd be a little bit closer to what they're doing. But
Lee Majors is a producer on this as well.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I'll make some money.
Is Heather Thomas going to be back in it? That's all I want to know.
As his mother.
Suit you.
That might get me in the seat.
There you go. Anonymous. I've not said this for a while. Anonymous.
Take my June popcorn bucket with me.
Bastard. Ryan Gosling plays Ryan Gosling. He does, yeah. Like man,
every time.
Bro, dude, whatever. I don't know. Trailer was garbage.
Yeah.
And yes, Lee Majors is still alive.
I met him about 3-4 years ago. Said, I asked him if he'd. I did say to him, Heather Thomas. Then did you? And it took him a few minutes because he's 83, and I was essentially walking away, and he said, "Hey!" And I had to spin round, and he said, "You just had to ask, didn't you?" And he wagged his little finger at me. So I'm guessing that's a yes.
Well,
it definitely wasn't a denial.
Lucky bastard. Okay, let's move on then. Nobody's looking forward to this. Okay. Words. Wow. I've frozen it. Here we go. So, rank these sequel films. But I thought, okay, if we did that, we'll be here all night.
Yeah,
So
there's some good ones in there. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of good
Absolutely
ones in there. I
fantastic
couldn't
films in
really
there.
rank those.
okay, right. What I'll ask then is each of the panel's favourite sequel. I think that'll be a quicker way to get through these. So,
okay.
okay, Lord, do you want to go first? Favourite sequel?
It's a really, really, really tricky one between Empire Strikes Back and The Two Towers. I think for its cultural impact, it has to be Empire Strikes Back.
Good, yes, good.
Okay.
Followed very closely by Two Towers, then probably Terminator 2, then Godfather Part 2, then Aliens. And I don't really care about the rest.
Okay, so you're saying Empire. Emperor?
This is a very tough one. I'd have to sort of do them in descending order, but Empire Strikes Back's probably that's a given, and then Aliens, then Terminator 2, then The Two Towers, then Toy Story 2, then maybe Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Then I haven't seen Godfather Part 2, so I can't comment.
Good movie.
Then Captain America, then Dark Knight, Dune Part 2 I haven't seen, and then I didn't really like Blade Runner 2049. So
R2.
Oh yeah, very very tough. But not so much for Two Towers and Empire for me, but between that and Godfather 2. But I think I would have to go with Empire out of all. Just such a great film and something just personally that I've loved for decades. Although I would have to put Godfather Part 2 right after that. Probably Two Towers and Aliens after that. So yeah.
So many good movies. Melvin?
I am with R2. It's Godfather 2 or Empire. It depends on, do you want my favourite or do you want which one I think is the best? Because I think Godfather 2 is probably the best, but Empire is definitely my favourite.
Yeah.
But I would say Empire, Godfather, Two Towers, Aliens, T2, and I don't give a shit about the rest.
Smilex?
I mean, I think it's definitely some bias here because at least two of the panel are actually in Empire Strikes Back. So, but I think much like Melvin, Empire is my favorite, and it would be the one that I would choose to watch if I had a spare 2 hours. But yeah, Godfather 2, Aliens, Terminator 2, Dark Knight, I like all those two Towers. I think Toy Story 2 is actually an almost perfect film.
Not a bad movie. Yeah.
It is.
But,
Excellent movie.
And the only ones that probably don't deserve to even be in the same conversation are Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and Blade Runner 2049, both of which are kind of are okay, but neither need to be mentioned in the same breath as the rest of them.
Not sure why those are in there at all.
Empire Strikes Back is an incredible movie. But T2 is amazing as well. Alien's amazing. Godfather 2 is amazing. I'm going to stick my neck out. Top Gun Maverick.
Oh no! I knew you would.
Purely because I got the feels big time. You know what, folks? It's the same analogy as I said earlier. Starving man, rice cracker.
Top Gun Maverick was great.
I said I want more.
It was great.
Yeah.
That Tom Cruise man crush you have is going to be the death of us all.
I got those feels as well when I sat down. I mean, even before the first image appeared on screen, it was seeing the Bruckheimer logo at the start. It made me excited, and then it was just that one Harold Faltermeyer note that played, and I was like, "Oh, I'm there! I'm right there!" And that's before the first image actually showed up on screen, so I was well into it. I'd have to wait another 25 years to decide if it sits in this list or not.
I'll probably think in 10, 15 years' time, I'll probably go Empire, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give a fuck about Top Gun. Top Gun I don't care. The Empire is just sort of undeniably there. One of the other interesting things about that is if you look at everyone's lists there, with I think the exception being your pick of Top Gun, don't all of our picks come from within the same 15-year span? From Godfather Part 2, Empire Strikes Back's in there, Aliens is in there. The only ones that have entered the list which have come since the 80s are the Two Towers, Toy Story 2 and Top Gun, which I don't want to count because it doesn't count because it's shit. But, you know, what a good period of time it must have been to be alive back in the 80s.
Yeah. And there's definitely some sequels that belong on this list that are not here. Like Wrath of Khan.
As I said earlier, while Dune Part 2 is a good movie, it's not a great movie. No. And we just used to get movies like that all the time back in the day. Well, the list is there, so...
Well, maybe not quite that good, but...
Yeah, but anyway, okay. Let's move on.
I think the amount of people saying... And there's quite a few now saying that Dune was comparable to Empire. I think they've got to be like under 30 years old. They must be.
Oh, yeah.
They must, when it comes to Empire, they just not be familiar with it. It's like if you're familiar with this film beyond the name.
Even a film that I absolutely leave the cinema on a huge high, I never think, oh, that's going into my top 10. I never think that. I always think, I'm going to have to give this a little bit more thought, and it's going to have to settle there for a little while because all of the other films that are in my sort of top 10 or top 100 or whatever it might be, they've been there for a long time. You've got to earn your place at the table, haven't you? You know?
I mean, Star Wars has been around for nearly 50 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Nearly 50 years. And when something new comes out, Star Wars is the measure. That Rebel Moon. What were they saying? This is going to be the next Star Wars.
Yeah.
Foolishly, right? But nobody said this is going to be the next Dune. That's not going to be a thing ever. It's never going to happen. You know, it's you need to keep things in context. The same with the action adventure films. The Raiders of the Lost Ark is the benchmark, isn't it? That's what the measure is.
That's a good point that Iceman made Iceman as well, saying that Spider-Man 2 deserves to be in here more than Dune 2. You know.
Movies like Empire and Terminator 2 were pushing boundaries in terms of what could be done. I don't think Dune Part 2, while, as I said, it's very, very good, I don't think it's pushed any boundaries, has it?
Well, I'll tell you what, Brown. Breakdance 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, yeah.
Boogaloo is the
realms of popping and rocking in the early 80s. So
missing an action too. I mean, come on.
I promised to review that movie. Never got around to it. We'll do it at some point. Okay, let's move on. Godzilla -1 is the frontrunner to win Best Visual Effects at the Oscars today, made by 35 VFX artists in their kitchen, basically, using 610 shots on a budget.
I still think this is a huge asterisk, though, because it's great considering how little it cost and how few people worked on it to make it look that good. That is impressive. Does it have the best visual effects, though? Like, I don't know what it's competing with, but I don't think that I never looked at that film and thought, you know what the really remarkable standout thing about -1 is? VFX.
Did you see it in
That's
the cinema?
not what makes it good. Did I? I think I did. I don't actually remember.
Yeah.
I saw this in the cinema, and I totally agree. It does look great. It looks absolutely acceptable, but you're not going, that was the best I've seen it all year. I mean, but I think I'd still like it to win because it would be a bit of a sort of a, kick in the eye to those visual, to the 350 million budget for a lot of the movies that we're seeing in Hollywood. So for that reason alone, I'd like to see it win just because of how ridiculously low the budget is in comparison.
I just like to see it win something that it's genuinely good at to make that lesson really driven home. I mean, best story, best subtitles in a film.
Best lizard in a film, best supporting lizard.
Yeah, but its standout qualities are the writing. I would say the characterization as well. I don't think it stands out particularly acting wise. But like the really great thing about that is you could actually make the VFX worse and it would still be an incredibly strong film because the VFX are not essential to it.
There was a man in a suit.
It wasn't.
No, you're right though. I mean, the story is. I think Atom is a huge fan of Godzilla, and he said that you were kind of waiting. Godzilla almost got in the way of the story to some degree.
Yeah, it's a cracking movie. I like the story. The human stuff was fantastic. Yeah.
I really appreciated the lack of diversity in it.
There was a strong woman in it, but it was done very, very well. And on that
Very true.
bombshell, let's move on.
Right. You ready for your next Oscar update, Brown?
Oh, here we
Go for it. Go for
Okay,
it.
well, winner of Best Supporting Actress.
Is it me?
Go
Maybe.
Trust.
No, actually, it's Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So,
right.
yeah, she's the larger woman.
She was pretty good, to be fair. She was pretty good in it.
Okay.
She was pretty good in it.
Winner of Best
on.
Animated Short, War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. Apparently, Sean Ono Lennon was the one that accepted the award.
Is it just a short Asian woman screeching?
And they cut the mic out.
Number nine.
Sounds like a load of shit.
And then winner of Best Animated Feature, The Boy and the Heron.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. Looking for. I've not gotten to see that one yet. Me and my daughter are definitely looking forward to seeing that one when it comes to video.
I won't read this.
Though many of us feel
that
it.
does tend to be the opinion most of the time.
Okay. Speaking of Oscars, Angela Bassett says she was gobsmacked when she lost the Oscar for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I thought I handled it very well. It was, of course, a supreme disappointment.
Well, the film,
And
yes.
disappointed his human.
Generally speaking, if you have to say, "Oh, I thought I handled that well," you probably didn't. Like, that's not the thing you get to say of yourself because you didn't win a fucking Oscar.
I
for a
didn't throw a
shit
massive
film.
tantrum like
Yeah,
a
well-
child in a supermarket aisle.
Was she so
therefore, I'm
arrogant?
great.
Yeah, but is she so arrogant that she assumed? How can you lose something that you never won?
Yeah.
Imagine it's like buying a scratch card, and thinking you were entitled to the £1 million. Drape it off, you scrape it off, and you don't have that last number 7.
I didn't trash the shop that I bought the ticket from. I thought I handled that really very well.
Yeah, I took it like a trooper.
Didn't come back and smash my car through the window. So good on me.
Well,
But I didn't leave until I got my quid back.
And it was Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once that ended up taking this Oscar. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Was that
That
the
was a great
ticking the boxes
performance.
movie?
Imagine taking a role in the Black Panther and thinking, I could get the Oscar for this. I could be in with a shout here.
Yeah,
Like it's Deer Hunter or something.
I guess,
You
this
know?
is the bubble, though, isn't it? I mean, she was probably getting told by people all around her, oh, there's a great buzz around this. It's a great cultural moment and all this kind of stuff. And this, you're doing something really important. Yet, most people, the audience for the Marvel movies hasn't changed. They were still the same people that were watching the other ones as well. And they were just there to watch superheroes smashing together.
Is
It's the
this
same people who wear Spider-Man t-shirts.
Yeah. Yeah.
is this sheer fucking hubris?
You know it is.
She's
It
been
is,
famous
isn't it?
too long and she's forgot what the real world looks like.
Okay. Let's move on then. Yes.
Whoa.
First look at Hugh Grant as Tony the Tiger in Jerry Seinfeld. Unfrosted. The film follows a kind of made-up origin story for Pop-Tarts.
Absolutely none of that is in any way appealing. Why?
It's going to be
on.
great.
Oh, no, come on. Hugh Grant as Tony the Tiger. Come on. That's going to be
Yeah.
I saw this and I had to go look it up. I thought I was being punked. I thought the universe was just playing a trick on me. There's no way that this is a real movie.
As someone who occasionally gets accused of being a furry, I'm all for this film.
Only occasionally.
Well, okay, every day.
This is so bizarre.
You know
And all the
something?
people that are part of it. It's
You know what's going
Yeah.
to be like instant Oscar material if they get Angela Bassett to play Divine Brown.
No relation, by the way. Here you go. Look who's here, everybody. Best test ever. Hello.
Whoa.
Not seen you for a while. We need. Where's Ian when you need him? We need Mega Geek to be crunching some in the background.
I hear he's a big fan of Sugar Pop.
They're great. They are, mate.
I don't even know what a Pop Tart is. Maybe I
It's
need to
like,
see this film
yeah.
to explain it to me.
Yeah.
Students eat them.
Yeah,
Poor
They're-
students.
yeah.
It's like remember
Yeah.
Garibaldi biscuits? It's a bit like that, but with maybe different types of fruit, and you
It's-
toast
it-
it.
Yes.
I'll
a
try and
toaster
explain it.
pa-
I'll try and
it's a
explain it in words
toaster
that
pastry.
try and explain it in words that Platoon would understand. It's like a beef Wellington, but with jam in it.
I don't
Oh,
even
man.
know what a beef Wellington is either.
We've-
We'll
had
run
this
with
over
it. Why
here.
not?
For ages. Yeah, it's like there's
Pastry.
a crust with some jelly in between. You put it in a toaster.
High
Yeah.
sugar content. You'll be buzzing your tits off.
So when you say jelly, do you mean
Jam.
jam?
Yeah,
Yes.
Isn't it, now?
So
Jam.
it's like a biscuit
gelatin.
with it's like a biscuit with jam in it. So it's basically like a jammy dodger, that kind of
Sort
thing.
of, yeah, but except it's
Uh,
got another top on it with some icing. Yeah.
You know what a Garibaldi is, don't you?
Um,
Yeah.
It-
Garibaldi.
yeah,
bandits.
didn't he
Mexican
found
bandit.
Italy?
Yeah, not that Garibaldi.
Oh,
The
that's
other
the
one.
only Garibaldi I know.
Italy or Mexico.
Ask your mum what a Garibaldi is. Pop Tarts are similar to that.
Okay.
Here you go. Don Ranger Power. Hello, my friend. I love pop. I can't speak. Pop Tarts. Yum. Lord, next time you go shopping or next time mother goes,
Actually, it's easy. Google.
get some Pop Tarts. Go on. Treat yourself.
I'm Googling
Live a
it
little.
right now.
Live a little. Yeah,
Don't do
live
it.
a little. Sorry, chat moved up. Hashtag R2Me2 at Mr. Barrenlize. It's me. Don't stick your fork in the toaster. No, never do that, folks.
No.
They just look like diabetes.
Yeah, that's
They,
pretty
they
much
are.
what they are.
Yes.
They are,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Compact little
Like
letter-sized pieces of diabetes.
Yeah,
Yeah, fair enough.
yourself, Lord.
diabetes delivery system.
Yeah. Live a little. Treat yourself.
So obviously we love them here in America.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to this.
Do you know what? This is the first I've ever heard of it, and actually, so am I now. Look at
Apparently,
that picture.
Jerry
It's
Seinfeld's
ridiculous.
supposed to be a bit of a see you next Tuesday.
Yeah,
but, you
I
know,
get that feeling.
It's just too bonkers not to be interested in what's going to
Yeah.
come out of this. I
Hugh
mean,
Grant's
yeah.
been good in the last 3 or 4 things I've seen him in. He's found a niche of playing sleazy
Oompa
kind of
Loompa.
bad guys, hasn't he? And he's quite good at them. He has got a sense of humor. So
Yeah, he's following the orange theme, isn't he?
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
after playing the Oompa Loompa.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking forward to this. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I think it's out in 2 years, folks. Avatar: The Last Airbender has been renewed for 2 more seasons at Netflix. This is supposed to be a bit poop, isn't it? Anybody watched it?
No, I've
Nope.
heard the similar
Anybody
reports back
cares?
though.
Yep.
I watched 2 episodes. Oh fuck! Sorry, I'm dropping things. I watched 2 episodes.
And
There's a reason I only watched 2 episodes.
oh, okay.
Right.
So 2
Yeah.
more seasons.
I've heard a couple of people saying it's again quite a hollow experience. So
I
Well,
wonder if
it's one of
the-
those where the main character just tells the audience exactly like who he is and what. There's a scene when he, normal. Oh, I keep dropping things. But when normally when you have a character who is reasonably well written, you can infer things about their character and what they're thinking by what they do and what they say to people and how they act. Well, this sort of skips all of that because it's condensing like 5,000 episodes of an animated show. So it has one scene in episode 1 where he goes up to a tame animal and just tells it exactly who he is, every detail of his personality, what his backstory. It's just unbelievably hollow and pointless. And the kid can't act, which doesn't help. So
Oh dear.
so
I wonder if
naturally,
this-
2 more seasons. Yay!
Yeah, I wonder if
Great.
this has got the same scenario as Rings of Power, because they're contracted to do 5 seasons, so it'd be cheaper to do the 5 seasons. Maybe this is similar, that they were contracted to do 3 seasons, and it's cheaper to make them than bin them.
Yeah,
perhaps.
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I've
Okay.
not seen it. I need to talk to my sister. Her kids are way into this particular property, so I have not gotten to hear what their thoughts are on
Okay.
the show yet.
Okay, let's move on then. John Wick director Chad Stahelski has signed a first look production deal with Lionsgate. his goal to create original action movies and establish future film franchises. Highlander.
Bollocks. Original movie, Highlander remake.
Yeah.
Nope, fuck off.
Nope, no more remakes.
Remake something shit. Remake something that was horrible that nobody liked. Don't remake great stuff.
Yeah. That's the thing they always do, isn't it? I mean, there are some great films out there that had a good idea but weren't executed well that they could take on and make better. But yeah, they always take the classics. If that statement was actually true and he was actually creating original action movies and establishing new franchises, I'd be all for it, because we're definitely desperate for some. Everything appears to be a reboot or a sequel. But yeah, by the sounds of it, that's probably not what we're going to get.
Highlander, John Wick 5. Is it 5 or 4? I can't remember.
Yeah. Original. John Wick 5. Original. Anything with a 5 at the end isn't original. Except Babylon 5.
We got Ballerina, which is getting reshot at the moment. That's John Wick universe.
Why?
Yep.
More action scenes, apparently.
Is that Anna de Armas?
Anna de Armas, yes.
I'll watch that then.
Anna of Armas, yes.
I'll watch it slowly. At home.
Make a geek all like that. Anyway, okay. Let's move on.
Okay. Want a couple more updates from the Oscars? We got some writing awards here. So, original screenplay, Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh, good. Okay.
So, I've heard good things about that one.
That is a pretty decent movie. Not a great ending, but a good film.
And then adapted screenplay winner, American Fiction, which means it beat out both Barbie and Oppenheimer.
I'm glad about that as well. I thought that was really decent. That was a decent story to it. It's got an A plot and a B plot, and the B plot is very daytime soap opera. But the
Barbie
A
made
plot is
$1
pretty
billion though, so why didn't that win?
Wow.
Anyone?
Don't know. Didn't see it. I just watched angry YouTubers
Look at you.
talking about it.
Okay. Not Brian posted this. Look at this, folks. Hot Toys. Pretty amazing figures from Hot Toys. Shame about the show. Look at them. They're fantastic.
The one on the left is exactly the same as the actress, because she never blinks.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So it's a nice touch.
I mean, they were the best part of that show.
They were.
Yeah, buy the figures and just imagine a great show around them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could have been wonderful.
Look at Ray there. Bless him.
Rest
in peace. It looks amazing. Best thing.
13.
Swappers, would you buy those if Brian was paying?
Well, it's not me buying them, then, is it?
Yeah, if Brian, well, you'd have them, wouldn't you?
If I'd never seen the show, I'd be interested at least. But I just look at them now and I shudder at the thought of what we went through.
Those were the best things about the show, and obviously the brief shots of the TIE fighter pilots. The rest of it was dog shit, yes?
Oh, yeah, after the arse shots.
I was going to say the arse shots, yeah. There's quite a few of those.
Yeah, plenty of them.
And
the Downs cats.
Yeah.
The Downs cats were great. And that thing that looked like a parrot and had a relationship with a frog. That was also quite good.
As a comedy, it was a really good show, is what we've deduced from that, yeah.
Oh, shame we're never going to see Ray again.
Yeah, but the Acolyte's coming out soon, so...
No one's ever really gone.
And more importantly, don't forget the queefing.
That's true. Very true. I'm sure there's like a pull string action for that on the back of that character.
God. Yeah, Downs Cat. Here you go. Downs Cat would be popular. It was popular, yes.
Yeah, where's the Downs Cat accessory? That boost its sales, surely.
Absolutely.
Well, like what, an empty food bowl. See what I did there? I don't know about
pictures,
you, Lord.
Have you got pictures of the other figures?
No.
Oh, okay. There's a young Ahsoka.
We're looking forward to the Acolytes. aren't we, Platoon?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I can't wait.
Not for the show itself, but for the coverage and for the streams, it will be really, really fun. I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be really depressing, actually, if it turns out to be good.
Oh my God. It will be, you're right.
Yeah. Don't worry yourself, it won't.
That would be
we know who the writers are, it's fine.
I would buy the parrot frog.
Me too.
Parrot fucked a frog toy, yes. Yeah. The side effect, that was the legendary side effect.
Folks. So good. So
a legend in their own lifetime.
If they bring out an
Amazing.
Anakin figure,
Amazing.
I'd buy it. I'd buy it if it looked like my avatar right now.
Sorry, I'm boomering.
That's not me.
Oh,
Hi.
I need glasses, by the way.
Hello.
Yay!
Look at that.
Does get everywhere.
You know something? See that? That's like a kind of analogy of Disney Star Wars, isn't it? It's like they're sitting there making sandcastles. That's as creative as they get.
Look at this, folks. Eggs Beatty, my Disney minus sub runs out on the 24th, so I'll miss it. Oh,
you won't miss it though, Eggs. You won't actually miss it.
Bad luck, old boy. Bad luck. June, everybody. Was it June? Okay. Yeah, we're into toys and stuff. Glasgow Willy Wonka Lego set is here, everybody. Look at that.
That is beautiful.
How amazing is that?
Oh, man.
Funnily enough, that's the same. That probably cost about the same as the entire thing, didn't it? The actual real thing.
Willy's world is sadness.
What you can't see are the tears on the little figures' faces and the single jelly bean that each of them is going to be given when they leave.
Hey, where's that hooded bad guy? Where's he? They missed him out. You must have to pay for that separately.
Oh, the unknown.
Yeah.
No, that's actually a she.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah. 20-year-old.
How ridiculous I mean to assume it's pronouns.
Yeah.
What does it say? What does it say? Glasgow.
I don't know.
Our American wrote it.
Probably.
If this was real,
the pitch thing for the villain in that. So what can we make the bad guy? I don't know. That'll do. Yeah, unknown.
It's a candy maker who lives in the walls.
Oh,
why?
You know,
they actually paid me £50 to attend, so I just pulled my hood up and popped along for half an hour.
Dr. Iceman asks the question, does this actually exist?
You're a doctor.
Come on now.
I'm guessing I have Legos upstairs. I could make one for you, yes.
I think this could become some kind of cult classic if it was real.
Yep.
Yeah, Lego, you need to release it, mate.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen the videos with the Oompa Loompa?
Unbelievable.
You can go on Lego.com and put it forward as an idea.
Yes. Yeah. No, the
Really?
lady who was the Oompa Loompa is just the sweetest person in the world. Just
I know, poor.
go look at her, some of her stuff online that
poor
she's
girl.
posted about it.
She looks so sad. It's like the complete opposite of what an Oompa Loompa is supposed to look like.
She was sad for the kids who were disappointed.
Yeah, no, she seemed to be very, very genuinely sad about it. It's like amateur dramatics in the Soviet Union in the 1990s.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it about its success, really. I mean, it was an ironic, kind of dismal masterpiece.
Yeah.
Dismal Land, Banksy, yeah, as we said. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I can't remember the guy's name. The director Johnny Depp played him. He made a lot of bad films.
Oh, Ed Wood.
Ed Wood.
Yeah. It's an Ed Wood type thing. It become classic 50 years later.
Here you go, folks. Mr. Ian, I would trust that Oompa Loompa lady with my life. Yes. High praise indeed. Okay. Maybe I should put that forward to Lego then. What do we think? Yes?
I agree.
Yes.
I think we should,
Try instead for a Lego Sydney Sweeney.
Ooh. Yeah.
There we go. And moving on.
A lot of beige Legos.
Okay. Karen Sonny, whoever she is, says Deadpool and Wolverine has a lot of cameos. There are a lot of surprises. Let's just say a lot of people travelled to London.
That sounds like the result of studio notes. You know, like just because the last Spider-Man movie had some, and they went, "Hey, they proved popular. Let's throw loads of them in this."
Mind you, the previous Deadpools have all had like cameos in them from beginning to end, haven't they?
Yeah, true. I mean, Brad Pitt appeared for about 3 seconds in the second one.
Yeah,
that was bizarre. That was really bizarre.
I think they're talking about Karan Sony, who played the taxi driver in the Deadpool films.
Oh wow. Okay.
The Indian taxi driver.
So I misgendered
Depender.
him.
No, they typed
Mr.
it wrong. They
Brown's
put
going
in
to
Karen
prison
instead of Karan.
on 1 hour 30. I'm going to prison,
Karan.
everybody.
He's transitioned now. He's now got a blonde
wig. Next week we'll be doing this show from Wormwood Scrubs, everybody.
Tell them you're a woman, you'll get an ace of prison.
I'll be going to Scotland then. Pete, for $2 Australian. Thank you, my friend. Anyone hyped for 28 years later? Open brackets.
Maybe the second film was the second film was a bit dodgy. I don't know. I mean, that wasn't Danny Boyle, was it, with that one?
No.
So this has got potential, at least, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't really get hyped for anything anymore.
He's doing the third one, isn't he? And he's getting Cillian Murphy back in, I think.
Okay.
I didn't mind the second one. It wasn't amazing, but it was all right. It was okay.
Yeah. It could be all right, I guess. I mean,
Jeremy Renner, before he was famous, he was in it.
Really?
Second one. And Robert Carlyle.
The first one is worth watching. If you've not seen it, Brown, you should watch the first one.
First one's definitely really good.
I'm not a zombie.
This was more like almost a very grounded sort of film. It didn't have the usual zombie stuff in it.
Okay, I might watch it then.
Yeah, it's quite different.
Okay. Shall we move on then? Yeah, let's move on.
Is it moving on or a sidestep? I know Vinnie Jones was asked to be in the next Deadpool film, by the way. And
actually, that was one of the slides. I binned it off.
Oh, well, I covered it anyway. There you go.
Okay. Cheers, swappers. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so highest earning actors of 2023. So coming in at number 10, new entry, Denzel Washington, 24.
That'd be Equalizer 3 for that, wouldn't it? I would imagine.
Possibly.
Doesn't sound like a lot for him, does it?
No.
It seems low end. You would think he's going to be getting. You think he's going to be getting that much just for showing up?
He might be a producer on that though. Equalizer 3. I bet he probably took a bit more on the back end as well.
Ben Affleck, 38.
For what?
Yeah, what was he in?
Was he in Flash? Was he? Can't remember.
He was. But only for a minute.
Not $38 million worth of appearance.
Oh, he did Air, didn't he? Which I can't imagine earned
that
massive amount of money.
There you go, Timmy. Yeah, there you go. Cheers, Tim. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Jason, number 8, Jason Statham, 41.
Yeah, he was probably in 41 films last year.
He was doing the same accent in each of them.
Yeah.
Can you do the accent?
All right, Jason. Leave it at you, slags.
That's
his American accent.
Yeah, the English Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Number 7, Leonardo DiCaprio, 41.
Is that enough to buy himself another super yacht?
Another younger girlfriend, probably.
Why not? What was he in last year then?
Flower
Moon.
Oh, yeah, that one. And probably something else. I would imagine it's probably.
It's amazing what 41 million can buy you these days. Number 6, Jennifer Aniston, 42 million.
That one's a surprise.
Yeah. What was she in last year? Or is that just residuals
from
Friends?
Yeah, here you go, Apple money.
Oh, right, yeah. She's on
and
TV.
She's probably on residuals with, what do you call it?
Yeah,
Friends.
That's just in constant.
A producer credit and some money for that.
Absolutely, yeah.
I thought this as well. Arch Collin, 42. Is Jennifer Aniston the answer to the ultimate question? Yes. She is.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah. Okay, so number 5. Ryan Gosling, 43.
I mean, that's one of the only few on here that makes sense to some degree, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling was in one of the biggest movies of last year, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. Probably
Yeah,
more than one.
his film made $1 billion, and he
1.4.
probably had a percentage. It probably had a percentage on the back. So yeah.
Okay, number 4. Matt Damon. Damon. 43.
Still needs to be in more stuff, Matt Damon. He still needs to make more stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he was in Air as well, and he was also in Oppenheimer, but neither of them were big roles. But I'm guessing streaming services have got a lot of money.
Number 3, Wee Tam, 45.
Yeah, most of that is Scientology money.
Mission Impossible lost money, didn't it?
Yep.
He still would have been well paid, I suppose, but he wouldn't have got a percentage of nothing.
Disappointing with that. Okay. Number 2, Margot Robbie, 59.
Yep, that makes sense, I guess. Biggest film, biggest actress of the year. Probably makes sense.
And number 1, Adam Sandler, 73.
Ow.
Explain. Can anybody explain?
He's a
that,
producer.
please?
He owns his own
Yes.
production company, doesn't
Yeah.
he? And he makes a ridiculous amount of money. And he is probably worth about $500 million. He's a very wealthy
Really?
man.
He's got a very good deal with Netflix, hasn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say a
And that's
lot of that
why-
has to be his
Yeah.
Netflix deal. Yep.
I did hear that the latest one he's in isn't bad. Is it called Astronaut?
Spaceman.
Spaceman, I knew it was something like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've heard I've heard it wasn't bad.
He's stuck on a spaceship with a talking frog or something.
Yeah, maybe a frog that's had relations with a parrot, I believe.
Who was saying that movie was great? One of the big YouTubers.
Yeah, a friend of mine gave me a good report on it this morning, but I've not seen it myself yet.
Okay. So
is this money based on what they earned for the films they made in 2023 or were released in 2023, or does that include the residuals forever?
Yeah, that's hard to say. I think
everything.
that's because it suggests it's just for their acting, doesn't it? But I think it's just the fact that they are all actors, and that's the payday that they got. But it doesn't necessarily mean they got all of that money for acting roles, does it? Which, as we pointed out, some of them are producers.
Tom Cruise is still earning money from the first Top Gun. You know, does that 45 million include that, or is it just for 2023? Just what they earned for what was released in 2023?
Doesn't say, but I'm assuming it's all residuals for everything. Yeah,
I think it includes lots of residuals,
Yeah.
other deals. He also Sandler had a big performing tour last year. I think he did 30 or 40 cities doing stand-up shows, so he probably took in quite a bit from that.
Okay, let's proceed. I saw this on the twats, and this did make me giggle. What do you think, Swappers? Look at that.
I'll tell you,
wasn't she?
it's just god, just the expressions that she used.
Just look at her face.
She's gorgeous.
Absolute dirt.
Do you know? Could you imagine if you're Peter Weller, right, and you went home alone,
Dr.
Weller, and seen that photograph the next day? You would kick yourself in the face, wouldn't you?
And in 1980, I mean, that's peak Coke Carrie Fisher as well.
Oh yes. Yeah. Peter Weller doesn't seem like the type that would kiss and tell, but
no,
she was getting around back in those days. So
yeah, because she was engaged to Dan Aykroyd round about the same time she was engaged to Paul Simon.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's probably just happy that he's taller than her after hanging out with Paul Simon for ages.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Mother's Day today, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. J.K. Rowling's tweeted, "Happy Birthing Parent Day to all those large gametes whose large gametes were fertilized, resulting in small humans whose was assigned by doctors making mostly lucky guesses. Where's probably when we need him?
Oh, that is savage.
Incredibly, she
Love
got a
it.
lot of kickback from the people that
Amazing.
like this kind of language as
Yeah.
well. So how weird.
Want to see the kickback?
Oh, yeah.
Well, she said devastated. I know there was some seriously
Oh,
bad.
She always gets those there.
Lots of C words being branded.
One of the best trolls on Twitter.
Yeah, this is world-class trolling, isn't it? Devastated and bewildered by my embrace of, and then that language has angered its most enthusiastic devotees. So let's just say, Happy Mother's Day to all females who've raised children. And I will say, hear, hear.
It just shows that she just lives in all of the heads rent free. They could all just block her and
Brilliant.
just go on with their lives, but nope, they have to keep badgering constantly.
You know something?
Dredging things up.
They're gonna get her one day.
Very good.
She's gonna get Salman Rushdie one day. It's not. This is never going to go away. You can't. When crazy people's got something against you, they're not going to get over it.
Yeah,
It's
she'll
always gonna be a thing.
have bodyguards though now.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Salman Rushdie. 40 years later, you know.
Well,
It's
that's a lot
it's
to do
never
with
going to
it.
go away. She's going to be looking over her shoulder for the rest of her life, which is sad.
Okay, so happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Wait! Before we do the bin, did we not talk about The Gentleman? I think it was one of the best series that started this week. That was really good. The new Guy Ritchie thing.
Downloaded it, not seen it yet.
It's very good. I watched 4 episodes. I'm halfway through, and it's not let me down so far. Very well written.
Somebody in
very
the
well
chat said it
put
was pretty good as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So God, we're going to be early tonight. Can you believe it? We're going to
you
pad
want
this
some
out.
Oscar updates?
Yeah, go on. Can you make
Oscar
it last
updates?
10 minutes?
No. Unless I just go really slowly. No, we're getting into some of the really boring stuff.
Hooray!
Oh, well, let's talk at length about it then.
All right. Well, we really
Just
want to
take
get
the room when
into
we need them.
the controversy that is the winner for best makeup and hairstyling.
Is it me?
It is Poor Things.
Okay, okay. That
Yeah,
deserves
okay.
it.
Best
go with that.
makeup and hairstyling.
That deserves it, probably. It's
So-
pretty crazy, that film.
And then we have the winner for best production design. Poor
Ooh.
Things.
I think it's going to do very well this year, that one. I think it's going to get best
And,
actress as well. For Emma Stone.
Winner, best costume design. Poor Things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
Why
3
is it
wins for
Barbie
Poor
won or
Things.
anything?
It's
Anybody,
racking 'em
can
up.
anybody answer
Well,
that
because Poor Things
question?
is better. Have you seen it? It's fantastic.
Yeah, but-
It's absolutely bonkers.
But Barbie made a 1.4 billion, Mr. Platoon. Why aren't they winning anything?
Yeah, Platoon. Why?
Lord, can you answer that?
It's not a very good film.
Yes.
And it only got nominated because it made loads of money and they thought, oh shit, we're going to have to acknowledge its presence because we didn't do what the Golden Globes did and sensibly invent a new category for it to win.
Yes. So that would be costume design would be a loss for Barbie. Also another Oppenheimer loss there. It would all okay. So makeup and hairstyling, Oppenheimer was really the other contender there, and then production design, another loss for Barbie. You know,
That's
Barbie
that's the
won.
category it probably came closest in my mind to being a contender for because the production design was genuinely quite good.
It is.
Um,
It's very interesting.
which one beat it out in the end?
Poor Things, which
Poor
it
Things.
does deserve, I think. It
Oh,
is,
okay.
it's
Everybody-
absolutely, it's a spectacle. It's absolutely crazy. If you ever played the
Is it a good movie?
BioShock games, you know, like you were saying before about how we get poisoned by the whole message. It is one of those films where there could be a message in it, but if you watch it just on a for the and take pleasure from the comedy of it because it's a very black comedy. I thought it was a great film, very entertaining, ridiculous. And if
I
you ever played the
fancied it.
Bioshock movies, the Bioshock games, it has the production value and the feel of those kind of games. It's just this kind of weird steampunky,
Platoon became
futuristic.
interested at that point.
Yeah,
I might actually have to go and research.
oh no,
this now.
you should.
Yeah, say,
I
remind me.
recommend it. I think you'll really like it. Or at
Remind me,
least I
which
think you'll
film
have
was
some thoughts.
this?
I really think you'll have some interesting thoughts.
What was this film about?
It's a modern Frankenstein. If I was trying to sum it up, it's absolutely bonkers. So it's kind of difficult to really put it into words. But it's Emma Stone is playing a Frankenstein monster, brought up in a society that's a bit crazy, and it's got a lot of very strange characters. A lot of people who play strange characters, like Willem Dafoe, are in it. And yes, as
It looks great.
It's by the people who did The Lobster, so I mean, you kind of know what you're getting.
Okay, yeah. So there's like it's Emma Stone has like a little girl's brain.
Yes.
Okay,
I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but
yeah.
yes, she at the start in the first 5 minutes of the film, she commits suicide. We don't know the reasons why, but she is with child when she dies, and the Dr. Frankenstein character effectively finds her and puts the brain of her unborn but yet still alive baby inside the head of the now dead mother. And so she's
Ruffalo's in this.
And the weirdest thing about it is that it's on Disney. Disney are streaming it, so it's a weird choice. It's a really weird fit for them.
I feel a little Platoon review coming on, to be honest.
I think you would. I think you definitely have some thoughts about it. It's certainly unique, if nothing else.
Yeah, Lord, do something good. I think it'd be good for you.
I'm doing Dune.
I said, do something good. It'd be good for you.
Dune is not bad. It's just not great. It's also going to be taking up pretty much all of my time. So probably not is the answer to that one, but I might give it a watch.
How many hours is the Dune review going to be?
No idea.
Yet? Long.
Hopefully not long, but usual long.
2 hours.
That's long, folks.
Yeah, 2 is probably maybe longer. It does begin in the 18th century, so maybe longer than 2 hours.
The 18th century.
It genuinely does.
That's one of the old ones.
What, Lord? What is your longest review?
That would be the Marvels at 5.5. Longest single video. Technically, both parts of the Mandalorian season, whatever the fuck review, was longer, about 7 hours. I think that was, but that was in 2 videos, so it's different.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, the amount of time it takes to put that kind of shit together, I am not going out of my way to do extra films.
Our Phantom Menace review was 17 hours. Admittedly, not in one bit, but
felt longer.
Okay, this week's Get in the Bin, folks. That was a nice few minutes filled there. Okay, anybody know what it is? Anybody guess?
There's so many things that belong in the bin this week. I'm sure you made a great choice.
Nothing was jumping out, to be honest. And I was going to drop this week, but then all of a sudden, something popped in the feed today. And I just thought, oh my God. R2, can you guess what it is?
Is it Sweet Baby Inc.?
No, it's not that.
Okay.
No. I'll do it. Here we go, folks.
Is it the that weird whatever the fuck is going on with that tomboy thing on Twitter these days?
I thought about it.
Yeah.
But I thought I'm not touching that one.
Oh,
is it the Winnie the Pooh slasher movie?
I thought I'm not touching that one because Vex said it's specifically a woman who's tweeting all that shit, isn't it?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And I looked at it and I thought, Vex, I'm not touching that with a barge pole.
No, I mean, she is pretty ugly. I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole either.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that as well. That's why she's so bitter. Anyway. And it is International Women's Day. Okay.
Are women in the bin? Just generally?
Ooh. All the women.
I know the answer here because I've seen the slides.
Is it
yes.
Millen Mulvaney? Because
again, I wanted to, but I'm not touching that one with a barge pole.
I asked if women are in the bin, and you said technically yes.
Woman.
Okay.
Anybody see
Oh,
this?
there we go. Yeah,
Oh,
I
there
mentioned
she
that
is.
earlier.
Oh, come on, Granny. It's time for tea now. Come home. Come on, Granny.
Smilex, do you want to read the caption?
Sure.
Go on. Go for it. Fill your boots.
New 65. No, I'm not doing it in that voice. New 65-year-old Madonna tries shaming a fan for sitting down during one of her concerts, only to find out that the fan is in a wheelchair. What are you doing sitting down over there? What are you doing sitting down over there? What are you doing sitting down? She said while pointing at the fan. Oh, okay. Yeah. So
they said that's politically incorrect then.
Politically incorrect, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I used to be a huge fan of Madonna. Not so much in the last sort of 20 years.
Isn't she old enough that most of her fans will be in wheelchairs by this point?
I'm pretty close, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah, most of us should be in a home, I think, at this point.
Again, pretty close.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
She's 65.
And she looks like a plastic cat.
I think Joe Biden did a similar one, didn't he? Like late last year when he said to someone in the audience, stand up, and the person's actually not able to do that.
God. Oh, dear.
It's like, why would you? Of all the things you could pick to point out of like a huge crowd at a concert, one person sitting down, why? What are you even focusing on there? What's the point?
It's taking it personally that somebody's not up and dancing.
Exactly. She wanted a standing ovation.
Well, can't, can they?
I suppose that would count as bullying, wouldn't it? Like singling somebody out.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah. So is this toxic bullying then?
It's definitely borderline. See what I did? Never mind.
Turned out to be, didn't it?
Zero week. Here you go. Edward Senior. Careful, that wheelchair may be rocket equipped.
Yeah.
See what I mean there? Very good.
Yeah. We know she wasn't calling on Davros in the audience. We know that.
Well, he'd be stood up somewhere, wouldn't he?
Yep.
Eventually, she is going to look like that oldest woman in the universe who's sort of spread out, like in Doctor Who. That
perhaps Davros was security for the event.
Wow. She does look these days. She does look like she's fresh out of an Aphex Twin video, though.
Yeah.
Honestly, right? What happened to Madonna? She's turned into one of the Morlocks from the Time Machine. That's what she looks like. Every time I see her, that's what I see. It's horrendous. Just grow gracefully. I don't know what's wrong with people.
Absolutely.
I don't know what's wrong with people. The mental.
That guy that did the whole I want to look like a cat makeup. You know, the guy that had all the amazing amount of work on his face to make himself look more like a cat. I get that vibe from her every time I see him. It's weird.
I'm not going to read this.
Don't read any of his.
That's one for you, Swappers.
That man's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Madonna is Cassandra. Too, yeah. Anyway, so that's this week's In the Bin, folks.
Yep, she can stay there.
Madonna.
This wasn't in the slides, Brian. I thought I knew what was coming next, and you tricked me.
As I said, there was nothing. There were a couple stories I would have liked to have put in the bin, but one of those kind of not touching that with a barge pole, if you know what I mean.
You keep your hands off my barge pole.
Okay, so let's move on. And finally, Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball. It's Dragon Ball Z, isn't it? Has died.
The original property is Dragon Ball. Yeah, he's Dragon Ball, and then there's Dragon Ball Z, and then Super, and it's a long running property. Yeah.
I think the story was it was an aneurysm, so it sounded like a stroke, possibly.
68 isn't old for Japanese expectancy, is it?
Not at all. No. It sounds like maybe he may have had a fall or something.
I think it's the median age in Japan. That's a maths joke. It didn't land. Anyway.
That's a big word.
Hey, by the way, it's turned midnight, so it's my birthday. Can I have a cake now, please, Brian? You promised.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Smilex. We're filling for time here. Happy birthday to you.
I baked something especially for you, Smiler. I'm having it mailed to your address in the morning.
Oh god, the cackle gets me every time.
Maybe we should do a new. Maybe we should do a new feature. Mr. Brown sings "Happy Birthday"
Yeah, like Marilyn Monroe.
because it's not copyrightable, is it?
No, you can sing it as many times as you wish. It's brilliant.
Not in the U.S. anyway. I don't know about over there in the U.K., but yeah, it's out of copyright here. There was a long, drawn-out court case about the birthday song because there was a couple of different companies that had claimed that they owned it and were trying to get royalties when it was used in a film or in any other thing. So yeah, it was only 5 or 6 years ago, I think, when they finally said no, it's out of copyright. No one can prove that they've renewed the copyright. You can use it.
It was a thing. You did have to pay to use it in a film.
Yeah.
Ridiculous as that sounds.
Well, coming back to Akira Toriyama, an absolute pioneer in manga and in animation, and this is just a terrible loss. Seriously, there's been a lot of amazing creators. There's plenty of other creators still in that area making great things, but he was really just one of the original guys that really helped popularize anime and manga and the Dragon Ball series. Of course, so many people have seen it, so many people have watched it, and it's a real sad loss. So yeah, rest in peace.
One of those things I never got into it at all, but it's one of those things that everyone is at least vaguely aware of as existing, which actually is something you can't say about very many things.
Yeah, it's a cultural touchstone.
It has. It's permeated across the globe, hasn't it? It's transcended all cultural borders, that one, and it's been going for so long. There's so many series, so much work put into it, and it's such a shame when you think that he was probably still working and still producing stuff, and the stuff he could have gone on to make as well. That's the saddest thing. But he had a great life still. He really did.
Yeah, I think they did say he had loads of ongoing projects that he's not going to be able to finish. But I like the funeral announcement, which was sort of stereotypically Japanese, which was like, please don't make a fuss. We don't want you to send flowers. He wants it as private as possible. Leave us alone. It's a sad thing. Wake up tomorrow and get on with things, which is a nice attitude.
They waited a full week before they even told the public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't deny the impact he had. I mean, I've never got into Dragon Ball, but I mean, everyone's aware of it at a certain age, I think. So
it always used to be on TV on a morning when we came back from raving.
Yeah. How would you remember that?
Difficulty. Okay.
For some reason, you were very alert after raving.
Yeah.
Very alert. Okay, so rest in peace, Akira Toriyama, creator of Dragon Ball Z. Everybody. Okay, I think that is it.
I just checked the life expectancy for Japan because I'm sad and pathetic.
Well, you're gone.
As of 2023, the life expectancy for both sexes average was 84.95.
Wow.
Which is the third best on Earth.
What's the second?
Castleford.
The second, apparently, is Macau. And first is Hong Kong.
Wow.
Macau was another island in the area, Hong Kong, China, isn't it? I think it was a Portuguese colony back in the day.
That is it, folks.
Not us, anyway.
I beg your pardon?
Not us in that life expectancy range.
Okay. That is it then, folks. Episode 192, Musings on March 10th, 2024. We're looking forward to Tony the Tiger. R2, any more updates on the Oscars before we go?
Looks as though we've got one more update here. The winner of International Feature, Zone of Interest.
Okay.
Oh, that's the war film, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is it, folks. I will say, chat, you are wonderful. Thank you for the interaction and the super chats. We will see you next time. I will thank the guest, Professor Atu. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on, mate. Melvin Deeply. Cheers, Melvin.
No bother, Mr. Brown.
No bother. Birthday otter himself, Smilex.
Thank you, sir. Great to be here. Great to be amongst you all. Had a good time. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Better way to spend your birthday with us, sad
Of
losers. Emperor Kipling.
I don't
Cheers,
like
Kips.
Margate. It's got sand. It gets everywhere.
We need to do the rest of your Apprentice Diaries, don't we, at some point?
Oh, yes. There's another one that's just been released as well.
Yeah.
So, yes, they're mounting up.
Yeah, we need to do the other half of those, don't we? So, cheers, Kippers.
We'll have to get Ruin on for that. We'll have to get Ruin on.
Yeah, we need to get him out of retirement. And last but by no means least, he's the Wise Elder of channel. You know the rest. The great little platoon himself. Cheers, Lord.
Thank you as ever. It's shit.
It is. Guess what? We managed to get 2 hours, folks. Can you believe it? Yay. Is Beast on tomorrow, Lord? I still can't speak.
Do not know. Maybe.
Are we talking Dune? Is it June?
I also do not know. Maybe.
You do not know.
I do not know.
Okay. I think we're back Wednesday then, folks. If we don't see you Wednesday, we'll be back next weekend. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. Tony, bye.
Goodbye. Bye.
Timing.
Bye-bye.
Timing.